Welcome to Valerie's Real Talk podcast. My name is Valerie Smith and I'm your host. Today is episode 65 and I'm going to speak to you on how to have understanding and love for one another. We're living in a time where there is a lot of confusion, a lot of distraction, lack of active listening to one another. And sometimes you wonder why it seems there's a lack of understanding. But I'm here to explain to you on how to find understanding when you're speaking to one another, when you're working, when you are working on projects together, or maybe you're around family and you probably have these siblings that constantly argue and they never come to a conclusion because of lack of understanding. And it happens everywhere, every day, every year, and it's almost like it's a repetition over and over. It's never coming to any conclusion, and that's why it's important to have understanding. And that is where communication comes in. In communication, it's not just talking. It's really listening. Listening is a lost art. And we need to get listening back where we can have understanding. When you listen attentively to someone who is speaking to you, don't be in a rush to give feedback on what the person has said. Listen to what they say. Learn by what they said. Now, are you going to really agree on everything a person says? No. But however, everyone that talks to anyone wants to be heard. Wants to be heard. And when we don't listen, especially if they ask you a question about what they just said, and you say, repeat it back, you know you weren't listening. And so that's where confusion comes in, misunderstanding comes in, and that's why it's important where you need to understand how to understand the person that's in front of you, how to understand when something is happening and how do you react. And that's where mindfulness comes in, because many a times we overreact and we lack understanding. And this is how you're going to find understanding and have love for one another. We don't have to wait until the holiday to have love, because when it's the holidays, we're in the spirit of giving. We should be doing this year round. We should have love for one another. We should have understanding for one another, because you never know what a person is going through. We constantly judge each other. We're judging the other person. And sometimes when you're judging someone, it's a reflection of yourself. And I'm pretty sure you heard that and you probably said, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because you wouldn't be judging that person. Trust me, there's an experience down the line. When you judge a person, you're comparing it to something from your past. I'll say it again. When you judge someone, you're judging from an experience, from something in your past. And that's why we all should not assume things. We should have effective communication called listening, and not trying to assume that a person did something or said something a certain way. That's why you have to stand still, listen, have understanding for what is being told, what is being said, and don't jump to conclusions or assumptions. We have to give everyone grace and love one another. Like I said, we're living in a time where things are so fast, people are hasteful, they don't have patience, and that's where lack of understanding comes in because we don't have the time to sit still. Sit still. When you do that, you have this sense of peace and calm within yourself. Now you have this space. Because sometimes we fill space with what? Being busy. And that's where stress comes in at. That's where lack of understanding comes in at. Because why? We have not given us space to listen and understand and have love in our heart. But we're the opposite of that. And that's why it pays to slow down. Give yourself some grace. Have understanding for your fellow man and show love and kindness, not during the holidays, not just the holidays, but every day. Every day you should be showing some form of kindness and understanding and not trying to make life so difficult that you lack understanding. Your homework today, I want you to journal. Maybe you want to do it for 2 weeks if you're not a journaler. How do you feel today? And how did you make someone feel great about themselves? Did you show love and kindness? Did you listen? Did you have understanding? I want you to watch your patterns in how you act towards humanity. It could be your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, co-workers, or just someone you don't even know. I want you to really think about it because we are living in a time where things are so fast. When was the last time you picked up the phone and called your grandma, call your grandpa, call your mom, call your dad, anyone in your family, or maybe a friend? Just slow down and just call them. See how they're doing. And show love and compassion and understanding. And that's how you're going to find understanding. Because now you know how it looks. You know how it feels to have understanding. And show love and grace to everyone you meet. Because life is too short. It's way too short to be upset and a lot of assumptions and judgments. You just have to find a way on how to find understanding and love one another. Because we only got this one life to live. Because tomorrow is not promised. And yesterday is gone. We only got today. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. And be kind to yourself and to one another. I look forward to seeing you next week for episode 66.